My name is James Spout. I'm 95 years old, and I'm about to tell you something that makes most doctors pause for a moment and look at me like they're trying to solve a puzzle. For the last 32 years, I have eaten the same 5 foods every single day. Not similar foods, the same foods. No variety, no cheat days, no complicated recipes. And according to most of the health advice that has been floating around for the past 50 years, this way of eating should have caught up with me by now. But here I am, still waking up early, still walking without a cane most mornings, still thinking clearly enough to remember the smell of my mother's kitchen from 80 years ago. Now, before you close this video and go watch someone pour green powder into a blender and call it the secret to eternal youth, let me tell you something strange about getting old.
When you live long enough, you start to see patterns. You see diets come and go like fashion trends. One decade eggs are dangerous. The next decade eggs are suddenly healthy again. Butter is evil for a while. Then someone decides maybe it wasn't the villain after all. But the body has a much longer memory than the headlines. And sometimes the simplest foods are the ones that stay quietly faithful to you. I learned that lesson the hard way in 1991. I was 63 years old and sitting in a doctor's office with a young physician who looked barely old enough to shave. He studied my chart and frowned the way mechanics do when they think your engine is about to fall apart. Listen to what he said.
Mr. Bowden, your diet is going to cause problems if you keep eating this way.
Then he pulled out a chart. Green foods on one side, red foods on the other. Most of the foods I grew up eating were sitting squarely in the red column. He told me to replace them with cereal, vegetable oils, low-fat yogurt that tasted like wallpaper paste, and things that came in shiny plastic packages with words like Heart Smart printed across the front. I listened. I followed his advice for 3 months, and in those 3 months, something interesting happened. My energy dropped. I started feeling tired in the middle of the day. My stomach felt unsettled most evenings. It was as if my body was quietly telling me something was wrong, but nobody else could hear it. So one morning I pushed the cereal box aside. I opened the refrigerator, and I went back to eating the kind of food that had filled kitchens long before nutrition labels existed. That decision changed the rest of my life, because within weeks my strength returned. My mind felt clearer, and the quiet aches I had begun blaming on age slowly faded away.
Now, I'm not here to argue with doctors or scientists, but I will tell you something I've noticed. After nearly a century on this earth, the body understands real food. It recognizes it. And when you give the body what it understands, well, let me tell you exactly what I eat. 5 foods. That's it. The first one is eggs.
Every morning begins the same way. I walk into my small kitchen while the sun is still deciding whether it wants to rise. I place a cast iron skillet on the stove. A spoonful of olive oil warms in the pan. Then I crack 2 or 3 eggs into that skillet. That sound, the quiet hiss when the eggs touch the warm metal, is a sound I've heard thousands of mornings in my life. It reminds me of my mother cooking breakfast before school when I was a boy. Now, for decades, people have argued about eggs. They said the yolks were dangerous. They said cholesterol would clog your arteries. Some folks even started throwing the yolk away and eating the whites like they were afraid of the best part. But when you really stop and think about it, an egg contains everything needed to build a living creature from scratch. Bones, muscles, a brain, a beating heart. Nature packed an entire life inside that small shell. So I never saw much sense in throwing half of it away. I eat the whole egg. And after doing that for more than 30 years straight, I'm still here to talk about it. The second food surprises people the most. Sardines. Yes, sardines. A small tin almost every day. Now, I know what some of you are thinking already. Those little fish have a reputation. Some people love them. Others wrinkle their nose the moment they hear the word. But sardines were one of the first foods I remember my father eating when I was young. He would open a small tin at the kitchen table, place the fish on a slice of bread, and eat them like it was the most ordinary thing in the world. Years later, I learned something interesting. Those tiny fish are packed with things the body quietly needs. Omega-3 fats, calcium from the soft bones, vitamin B12, protein that the body knows exactly how to use. It's almost funny when you think about it. One of the most powerful foods in the ocean comes in a little tin that costs less than a cup of coffee. The third food is sweet potatoes. Now, before I tell you how I eat them, I want to explain something. People today are terrified of carbohydrates. They talk about them like they're dangerous chemicals. But sweet potatoes have been feeding human beings for thousands of years. Farmers ate them. Soldiers ate them. Entire communities survived on them when food was scarce. When I boil a sweet potato and slice it open, the color alone tells you something good is hiding inside. It's warm, earthy, simple, and the energy it gives you lasts. No sugar crash, no strange feeling in your stomach, just steady strength. Most afternoons I eat one with a drizzle of olive oil and a little salt. Nothing fancy, just food. The fourth food is Greek yogurt. Now this one came into my life a little later. I first tried it when I was already in my 60s. A neighbor offered me a bowl with a spoon and said, "Try this. It's the kind they eat overseas." It was thick, not watery like the sweet yogurts in plastic cups. It had substance. I later learned that traditional yogurt contains beneficial bacteria that help the stomach do its job. Your gut, you see, is home to trillions of tiny organisms working quietly every day. When those little workers are happy, your whole body seems to feel the difference. So most mornings, after my eggs, I have a bowl of plain Greek yogurt. No sugar, sometimes a little drizzle of olive oil on top. People look surprised when they hear that. But once you try it, you realize something interesting. Good food doesn't need much decoration. The fifth food ties everything together. Olive oil. A small bottle sits beside my stove every day. It cooks the eggs. It touches the sweet potatoes. Sometimes it even finds its way into the yogurt. Olive oil has been feeding people for thousands of years around the Mediterranean. Whole civilizations grew strong on it. When you pour it into a warm pan, the smell is soft and earthy, almost like the fields it came from. For years, people replaced natural fats with strange industrial oils that had to be invented in factories. But olive oil never needed a laboratory. It came from olives and patience. So those are the 5 foods: eggs, sardines, sweet potatoes, Greek yogurt, olive oil, every day, year after year. And before someone asks the question I hear all the time, let me answer it now. Yes, people ask if I get bored. The funny thing is, I don't. When food stops being entertainment, it becomes nourishment. If this message resonated with you, feel free to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. I eat, I wash the plate, and then I go live my day. There's something freeing about that. You stop spending half your life wondering what to eat next. You start spending it doing things that matter more. Walking outside, talking with neighbors, reading a book, calling your grandchildren. Because after 95 years, I've noticed something that rarely appears in nutrition advice. Food matters. But it isn't the whole story. The people who live the longest usually share a few quiet habits. They keep their lives simple, they stay curious, and they carry far less bitterness than most people realize. I once had a neighbor named Walter. Walter followed every health rule imaginable. He counted calories. He jogged every morning. He avoided every food that appeared on a warning list. But Walter carried anger inside him for 40 years over a fight with his brother. That anger never left him. Walter passed away at 68. Now I'm not a scientist, but I've lived long enough to notice something. Bitterness seems to wear the body down faster than butter or eggs ever could. Peace, on the other hand, is powerful medicine. These days, my mornings begin quietly. I wake before the sun is fully awake. The house is still. The skillet warms on the stove. Olive oil shimmers. Eggs crack into the pan. And the smell fills the kitchen. After nearly a century on this earth, moments like that feel precious, simple, calm, certain. I don't know how many mornings I have left. None of us really do. But tomorrow, if I'm lucky enough to see another sunrise, I'll walk into that same kitchen again. I'll warm the pan, crack a few eggs, open a small tin of sardines, boil a sweet potato, scoop some yogurt into a bowl, and drizzle a little olive oil over the meal that has quietly carried me through the last 3 decades. Still here, still standing, still eating the same 5 foods. Now I want to ask you something honestly. If you had to choose 5 simple foods to eat every day for the rest of your life, what would they be? Tell me in the comments. Because sometimes the simplest answers are the ones that last the longest. On the left-hand side, you'll find a video, 10 essential signs of aging at 95. Gentle care, comfort, health, dignity, and a caregiver's guide. While on the right-hand side, you'll see a complete playlist titled Aging Stronger, Complete Guide, 65 to 85 and beyond. You know, people often ask me what the biggest surprise of living this long has been. It isn't what you might expect. In fact, the answer usually makes people pause for a moment. Maybe I'll share that story with you in the next video. Until then, thank you for spending a few quiet minutes with me, and I'll see you again soon.